Hello. Thank you for being here today, such a warm group, and welcome to Ethical AI in Interpreting, Harmonizing Technology and Human Values, a very important topic. It will be presented by Carolyn Raymer, Dieter Runge, and Catherine Allen, who have made, and Nikolai. And they've made my job really easy by saying that they will introduce themselves. So warm round of applause for our presenters.
All right, and right before we introduce ourselves, just one question. How many read the description of this session? So you know that you're doing most of the work? Okay, so just heads up, right? This is actually a work group session. Yeah, don't tell them yet. So
we locked the doors.
Right. So we'll go ahead and introduce, we all happen to be from Buslingo, and go ahead, Dieter, you're first on the slide, so.
Am I?
Yep.
Okay, I'm Dieter, for those of you who don't know me. I'm based in Australia, part of the founding team of Buslingo, and we're excited to have this conversation with all of you today. And as Catherine said,
we're being asked to do that.
okay, this is a working session. It's not a presentation. This is, we want to get some concrete responses from each of you to the questions that are being posed today. So if you guys came here for Biology 101, you're in the right place. Okay.
Yeah, we're excited to hear what you guys have to say. My name's Caroline Reamer. I'm vice president of our language operations team at Buslingo. Started with the company around 6 years ago, so gotten to see the evolution of things, and it's been an exciting journey. So I'm excited to be here with all of you.
Hello, my name is Nikolai Benedicts. I am Vice President of Technical and Digital Innovation. Very fancy, long title. But what it means is I work with product and technology and a little bit with AI.
A little bit. I'd say a lot of it. Wait, I'm not going to hold this. I was talking to here. And I'm Catherine Allen, and I oversee the sort of industry learning inside Buslingo. And the reason why there's 4 of us up here is actually because we're going to be the helpers walking around for the tables, not because you're going to hear a lot from all of us. But let's go through this session, sort of how it's structured and what we're hoping to do. I know some of you in this room have done similar sessions with me a million years ago at Interpret Americas, so some of you know what you're in for. But let's talk for a minute just who's here, and man, it does like to skip. So who's in the room, and not individual introductions, but just curious, we'll start with sort of who here is like a CEO or an exec level at a language service company, because that's the most people here, right? I mean, that's the majority. All right, but that's not so many people here. Okay, so what other roles do we have in the room? Technology. So how many technology creators? Technology, just a couple? Technology vendors? Right? So, I mean, it's interesting. We're really spread out. How many are how many are in interpreting? Interpreters. We're assuming that most of you are somehow in interpreting? No, not. Only, okay, no, keep your hand up. How many, your companies, you provide services for interpreting? Interpreting is somehow in your service mix. All right, because that's what we are going to be talking about interpreting. And then how about if you are providing interpreting services outside of AI, how many are in the conference arena primarily or as one of your conference interpreting? All right, how about community and legal interpreting for OP, and how many are doing like on-demand OPI, VRI? That's okay, that's really interesting. And how about RSI? Simultaneous, right? Okay. All right. So look around. That's interesting. Really interesting spread. And I guess let's just ask which countries are in the room. I mean, I know we have the U.S. in the room, but what countries are you based in? Canada, U.S., Canada. Pardon? Italy,
Egypt.
Finland,
Spain,
Egypt. Okay. El Salvador, Mexico, France. Okay. So we have a really nice mix, too, of countries. All right, so that's who's in the room, because that's who you're going to be talking with. So the way this is actually meant as an intensive work group discussion, and I've run these kinds of things before. You can get a lot of interesting discussion take place in an hour if you structure it. And man, it is just really popping all the way through. So we would like you. What we're going to do is have you participate in small group discussions. So You may or may not want to be at the table you're at, and we may or may not want to consolidate the tables. It depends on how you want to do it, so we'll get to that in just a minute. But really the goal is to run you through at a table about half an hour of an intensive discussion, and the 10 minutes on one question, 10 minutes on the next. You'll see the questions are at the table, and also we'll show them in a minute on a slide. And then 10 minutes to come up with, hey, what's some recommendations? Where should we head? Something concrete and specific, right, of where we can head. And it's valuable here. This whole conference is about AI, but the conference is mostly about translation and localization in AI. So this is our workshop and our chance to kind of talk to each other about what we're seeing and what our specific concerns and questions are, to see if we can, just stimulate, what are the next steps, where should we be going next? So that's sort of the basic goal and purpose. I think, so you have a choice. We could either do this by really selecting out down for what you do specifically, but I think there's such a mix in this room that I would maybe perhaps just let the tables stay mixed. Yeah. That seems like the right choice? I think that's the right choice. Okay, so everyone's gonna just stay in their mixed table.
If they're at a small, if there's only 3,
right.
Maybe they're
The table that just has 3 people, I would encourage you to go to one of the other tables. Okay, this is honestly, it's let's see if we can get it to, I promise I'm not touching this. No, it's just all of the prompters seem to be doing this. So where is the slideshow in this? Let's see. Yeah, it's happening. No, I do, but then it's still going. Yeah, no, it's still going forward. Yeah, no, it's just happening. Yeah, okay, it's fine. All right. So I'm going to ask everybody to quickly settle and give you a little bit more instructions before we actually get into the discussion. And you can make your own table too. You're all okay. So we're going to end up with 1, 2, 3, 4 tables. Okay, perfect. All right. No, you still be, yeah, I mean,
You can maybe just have,
or if there's a really full table that wants to come over to this table and fill it up a little bit, that would be the better choice. Yeah. Have yeah, we go? Here we go. Okay. All right, we'll ask, good, Naomi, come over here, and that'll be a really great discussion group. All right. So before you all start introducing yourself, I'm going to ask for your attention for just one more minute. So we have put together on this table, you have the 3 questions. These are the 3 questions that we'd like the groups to discuss, and we are hoping to produce a blog post after this. This is our promise at Buslingo that we will put together a blog post. But in order to do that, each table has to do a couple of things. One, you have to pick a note taker, and we do have note-taking sheets for you that may make it easier. We are asking if you're willing to know who's at each table. We won't publish that out in any way, but it's just very helpful to know who was talking about what, especially if we want to kind of do follow-up on what the groups, for the blog. If you decide, hey, we have these 3 recommendations, we know which table it came from, then we could do follow-up for the blog work, right? But it's completely voluntary, but your note taker is going to ask you to put down your name if you're willing, and your company or your email. And so these are the 2 basic questions are, what do you see as the primary ways AI tools can augment and enhance human interpretation? And what do you see as the primary ethical considerations or risks, right? And then the idea would be for those last 10 minutes, we're going to ask you to really hone in on 2 or 3 best practice recommendations, and we're going to have you put it on a sheet, and then there will be time for your table to report that out to the rest of the group. So it'll be half an hour of intensive discussion, and then 15 minutes for the debrief, and it'll be interesting to see what people come up with. And I'm just going to, you can talk about whatever you want. I know for me, some of the questions that aren't answered for me yet at GALA that I am thinking about a lot is, if we're going to have I think we have a real question is how do we get people into the field with how much change there's going to be, and how are we going to protect our linguist pools, because we will still need humans in the mix, especially for interpreting. So these are just ideas, they're questions, and I'm just using them to seed. You can talk about whatever you want. How are we going to deal with client education when we really actually need to start differentiating between decision making and should I use AI, should I use human? It's not a universal translator, but that's what everyone wants. And then I have a question around how do we actually, we talk a lot about ethics. I've worked a lot on ethics. How do we actually realistically integrate that? And my big question around this would be, all of the laws and legislations coming out around the world are mandating human oversight of the use of AI. how do you do that in real-time interpreting? Like, where does the oversight come in? So those are, and I think we will have answers for that. Those are some of my questions. They're just kind of prompts. So each table, you guys decide what you want to focus on through the questions, and we're going to come around now and pick a note taker and get you going. So, and we'll leave the questions up here as well. And now it's your turn. Yeah, who's going to be note taker, right? Oh, you mean the prompts? The prompts I had? Oh, you want to see that?
Oh, well, you don't have to. Are we responding to those?
Yeah.
These are the ones we're responding to?
Yeah, but they can be around any of those things we talked about. Quality, client education, like you have like, what are the opportunities, what are the risks? They're just sort of like to seed the ideas.
These ones are here, I'm pretty sure. Yes, thank you. Then pushing it is what we're doing.